Hey everyone, it is Keeping It Real with Niki Shelton. How's everyone doing today out there? I hope everybody's doing great. I'm with special guest Kerri Selby with Fairway Mortgage. Kerri, how's it going?
It's going great. How are you doing?
Great. How's the weather there?
Oh, it's been like overcast a little bit, but the sun popped out a little bit too. So it's not raining today, which is nice.
That's good. So, what's the temperature wise?
When I just popped out for lunch, it was 64 degrees.
Okay, I'm sorry,
So
because
it's
here it's been
comfortable.
like 89, 90.
I actually like being in the high 60s, low 70s. It's really comfortable for me. So
See it, I like this.
yeah, we just got
We'll be
back from
having a different
Texas.
conversation in the winter, though. It'll be totally different because I'll
Oh,
be
yeah,
freezing to death, and you'll be like, "Yeah, no, it's not that bad."
exactly. Yeah, we were in Texas and it was 105 with like 85% humidity. No, thank you.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy. Yeah. So we're going to be talking reverse mortgages today. I'm super excited because we've got a full agenda. We might actually split this up into 2 days, just depending on where we're at about the quarter hour mark. But before we get into that, Kerri, let's talk about the rates a little bit. What's happening in the market? How are
So
we
we
doing
had
out there?
talked about, yeah, we had talked about the CPI numbers and they really didn't come in where they were expecting them to. So we had a little bit of volatility in the market. The average national interest rate today is around 6.75%, and it was around that last week as well.
Yep.
They are saying that we are only 0.75% higher than this time last year. So we can see that gap is starting to narrow of where we were before. And so people are still feeling the crunch and the sting, though, of these rates for sure.
Right. Yeah. And it's hard. I've talked to sellers and people are wanting to sell their house, and they're like, but, I'm at a 2.75 or a 3 or 3.25. And to go up to that is just, to have to buy a new house to sell their house is like, kind of put the brakes on. So
It
it is
is.
affecting the market. But I
Yep.
mean, if you're out shopping and stuff like that, honestly, it's still a good time to get in, like where it's not as competitive as it was in the past, and get in and get that, get the house and, you know, refinance when the rates come down, right? Because that's kind of how it normally, I mean, we've always had this, it's always goes up and down. I mean, it's just historical. So, I mean, what goes up must come down, right?
Exactly. But interesting fact, they are saying about 33% of the recent home sales did go above listing price. So things are getting competitive again. I think people are kind of gun shy to put their home on the market because of the interest rate. So we don't really see the inventory that we had before. And so
Mm-hmm.
when the homes do go on the market, people are trying to grab them up.
Yep, absolutely. So, I mean, it is still busy out there. So, I mean,
Yes.
people are still doing their things. Okay. So we're going to move forward, and I'm going to try really hard to kind of keep us on a timeline today, just like I said, because we're going to try to shorten these up, just because I know sometimes it's easier to watch, a short video because you've only got so much time, and sometimes we've been extending those a little bit longer. So we're going to try to keep them at the 15-minute mark. So we may have to split this up into 2 parts, which I'm kind of excited about.
Yeah.
So Kerri, we're talking about reverse mortgage. What is a reverse mortgage? And then I'll put your slides up for you.
That would be great. So, a reverse mortgage is basically using the equity that you have in your home to kind of like as a retirement tool. A lot of people depend on their 401k, but if you don't have one, what are you relying on? Social Security, right? Not anybody can really survive on Social Security. It's so minimal that people are barely getting by. So, great thing is you can use your untapped equity in your home. And I think we froze on Niki's end there. So as far as the reverse mortgage goes, like I said, you are tapping into the equity of your home, and it makes it so that you have deferred payments until death. The 2 things that you would need to pay for are going to be your property taxes and homeowners insurance. And a third thing is if you do have homeowners association fees, you'll have to pay those out of pocket as well. And it looks like we lost Niki. She might have had a bad connection. So I think I can bring the slides up though. So this is a little bit about the mortgage, reverse mortgage, and the misunderstandings about reverse mortgages. They tend to have a bad rap, and it's because when they were first introduced, they were on a by a private lender. Now they are an FHA insured loan, and so there are more assurities with that. So 10 myths about a reverse mortgage. Number one, the home reverts to the lender upon vacating the home, which is completely false. The home is still yours. You still remain on title. Another myth is that the entire debt is due and payable within 30 days, which is also false. There's actually a much longer time period that you have, and that will be presented in a future slide. The third thing is borrowers or heirs are responsible for the debt. That is also false. We do leave equity in the property, so it's not borrowing 100% of the value of the home. And this is, like I said, an FHA insured loan, which makes this a non-recourse loan. Just to break that down, it means that in the event of the home appraising for less than the balance on the mortgage, the heirs can walk away from the property with their hands clean. So, hi.
I am so sorry. Thank you for taking over with that. I am
That's okay.
Nebraska's internet, and that's just what happened. Oh my gosh. So we were on the myths about reverse loans, right?
Yes. I went ahead and brought the slideshow up, and we're on number 4.
Perfect. Okay, let's go ahead and keep going.
So the fourth one, the title to the home is in the lender's name. Completely false. It stays in your name. It is still your home. The loan can be called for any reason. That's also false. There are a few things that could make the loan repayable, and those are also in a future slide, but basically one of them is if you fail to pay your property taxes and homeowners insurance. 6, the borrower can have the note called because of age. That is also false. It doesn't matter how old you are, as long as you meet the qualifications of 62 to start. Doesn't matter if you reach 100 years old or 102, you're still going to be able to have that loan in place. If payments are made, they are not tax deductible. That is also false. You can make payments. With this being an FHA insured loan, there is mortgage insurance premiums, and so that does accumulate. But you can make payments to make sure that those mortgage insurance premiums get paid, but you don't have to.
Okay. And what would be the benefit of doing it? You would just keep your balance a little bit lower, so that way it's not so. So it doesn't build up and you don't lose as much equity. Is that what I'm understanding?
Yes, because a lot of people have the mindset that they want to leave their home to their children. That's the children's inheritance. And so it does leave that extra equity in the home for sure. But there's also a line of credit. If you have enough equity in your property, you can establish a line of credit that you can draw from at any time. The first payment, you can draw up to 60% of that line of credit. And then after a year passes, you can draw more. But that line of credit has a growth rate. And that the mortgage insurance premium kind of goes into that line of credit and offsets it a little bit. It's a little hard to explain. So your line of credit is going to grow at the current rate because it is an adjustable mortgage plus 0.5%. And that 0.5% of growth actually covers the mortgage insurance premium. So it balances it out.
Okay. Didn't you have a slide about that a while back? If I remember correctly, I think we kind of touched on something, or you showed me something.
I believe so, yeah.
Maybe we can find that and show that next time too, because that was kind of a cool graph because you actually increased that line of credit quite a bit. I mean, from what I saw and when it does, if I was right, remember? Yes,
because you can use it just for emergency purposes, and that line of credit, it compounds the interest. So it keeps on building on itself. That's what compound means. So it's really a great tool to have access to, but not have to touch if you don't need it.
Perfect. Okay.
A lot of people also use that line of credit in lieu of their 401k. because when you draw from a 401k, you're going to pay taxes on the amount that you draw out. There are penalties and taxes. You do not pay any taxes on the line of credit because you're using your home equity.
Okay. Okay. Good.
So it says there's no monthly payment, which is also false because you do have to still pay your property taxes and homeowners insurance. We want to make sure people know that. That's one of the things that can put you into default.
Hey, and talking about property taxes, I mean, I know that I've got my mom who's a little bit older and stuff. And I know a while back, I actually had reached out to her and I said, I don't know about in Nebraska, but I know in Washington, I said they have a senior exemption tax. And a lot of people don't know about that. Just not trying to go off total topic here, but just because we're talking about this and it's for our retirement age community here, it's a really good thing to know about because you can actually get it where it's not as high as, as long as you're a certain age or whatever it is. I don't know what exactly the implications are in Washington either, but I know once you hit like a certain thing, your property taxes can be lowered. So it's definitely worth checking into at least.
Yes, and you contact the county about that.
Mm-hmm.
It is according to your age, but also your income as well. So if you have an income below, I think it's like $32,000 a year, then you're able to file for the exemption. But that is different probably from county to county and state to state. So definitely check with your county assessor to find out if you are eligible for that. And they have you
There's
fill
a
out
lot
an
of people
application.
don't know about that and they need to know about it. So if you know somebody, again, I know for sure it's in Kitsap County. So if you're in Kitsap County, you've got, parents there who are getting, up in age and stuff like that, and you haven't checked it out, make sure you do. It's a good thing to check out. Anyway, continue on. Sorry, Kerri.
That is okay. That's what you're here for. We want to definitely ask those questions. It's important. And that's a really key thing because a lot of people don't know about it. And if you're already on a fixed budget, it's important to have that information.
Right.
There is only one way to receive the loan funds. That is also false. You can receive it through the line of credit. You fill out a paper and do a written request, and then the funds are deposited into your bank. And it says the funds are taxable by the IRS, which is also false. They, like I touched on just previously, it's just your home equity. So they're non-taxable funds.
So if you need to pull some money out to use, let's say for medical bills, I'm just thinking of an older person, like, they had a fall and they had to go to the hospital or something like that. You could use those funds to help cover some of those costs, correct?
You absolutely can.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
perfect.
A lot of people use it to age in place. That's what this is for, is so that you don't have to go into a skilled nursing facility. You might need to add a ramp. I know I have a client right now, and that's what she wants to do. She needs to add a ramp because her hips aren't what they used to be. Her vision isn't what it used to be. And she definitely needs to do some things around her home that will make it more accessible. So that's what these funds are used for. And also to cover in the gaps. Like I said, people can't survive on $1,900 a month from Social Security. It's kind of ludicrous to believe that people are able to survive. And we have elderly people out there that are starving, which is very sad. They're on food stamps.
Yeah.
So
this is a way that possibly could be to help. I mean, I know, I'm looking forward to someday hopefully retiring, and it's like I would hope I could leave my kids a whole bunch of stuff, but it's not as easy as it used to be. I don't think
it's not. So what happens when the borrower vacates the property, whether that be because they pass away or because they are in a skilled nursing facility? They really want you to communicate with the servicer immediately, because the faster you start the process, the easier it's going to be. So all of the information that the servicer is going to ask for should be on their monthly servicing letter. It will tell you the annual occupancy questionnaire and the loan balance. So those are two key pieces of information that they're going to ask for. So you definitely want to call the servicing company and send a fax or email for confirmation. And at that point, you let them know if you're going to sell the home, if you're going to refinance it or pay it off. So heirs can purchase the home from their parents if they choose to. And then just provide them with whatever documentation they request. And some examples are death certificate, a will, hospital orders, something along those lines.
So they have 120 days?
Yes.
My I have some friends who just lost their parent, and I have my husband who just lost his parents and stuff like this. 120 days, that's only what, 3 months, 4 months?
It's 6 months.
6 months. 6 times. Really?
Oh no, it's 6. I'm sorry. It's 180 months. Or yeah,
180
180
so
days,
6
6
months.
months.
Okay, that makes
all
sense. Okay, so it's only 4 months. Okay, so that does give you a little bit of time, because I was thinking 120 days. I'm like, wow, you really have to move fast because you're settling the will. You've got a estate to settle. I mean, just, worst case scenario there. Okay, 6
Yes.
months. Well, totally doable then. Yes. Okay.
6 months, and you can ask for 2 90-day extensions, but they have to be in writing, and you have to make sure you do it in enough time to give the servicer notice.
Okay.
So some things that might require extra time is the probate of the will, title issues, no will and affidavits of heirship, or market conditions you might not want to sell it. So
Okay.
we're
Makes sense.
just over the 15-minute mark. I don't know if you wanted to wrap up here or.
You know what? I think let's do that, because, like I said, I'm going to try to do shorter ones, so that way, hopefully, when you watch, you can just grab them and do it at your leisure, and it's like a 15-minute time frame. You guys, thank you so much for joining Kerri and I today. Again, it's Kerri Selby with Fairway Mortgage and Niki Shelton with Real Broker. And don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, or follow button, because this is how we know that you're enjoying this and what you want more of. And also feel free to jump in with questions, especially we're going to be back again next Wednesday at 1:30. So jump in with any questions and we're happy to answer them. Okay. Thank you so much and have a great day.
Thank you.